Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty. Our subject today is going to be Pastor Dwight Dawkins, senior pastor of a church down in Florida. Now, Mr. Dawkins is a subject of something that maybe, well, I shouldn't say maybe, that is uncomfortable and embarrassing to him. See, Mr. Dawkins got himself into a sticky situation. And before I go any farther, that particular song that was playing in the intro is called Blow Theme. And that's going to be appropriate for the story in which we have today. Mr. Dawkins, like a lot of evangelical Christians, believe that homosexuality and acts of it are sinful. Mr. Dawkins took it upon himself to condemn these acts. Now, there is a sermon that is going on where Mr. Dawkins himself is condemning what he considers these sinful and unnatural acts.
There may be homosexuals and lesbianism in your family line, but it's not normal. There may be homosexuals and lesbianism in your family line, but it's not normal. What you trying to do, Dawkins? I'm trying to start a rebellion in the tabernacle. I'm trying to wake up the Holy Ghost in you that's been asleep since January. I don't know where your Holy Ghost went. Some of y'all used to fight for righteousness. You used to contend for the faith. But you're coming here now on vacation every Sunday. I want to see a revolt in our society, in our community, that will not allow the next generation of children and grandchildren to come up in dysfunctional moralities.
Okay, so you heard the pastor, Dawkins, talking about homosexuality and lesbianism is not normal, but yet he's participating in it. You heard him say that he wanted to raise up a rebellion, and that rebellion is against homosexuality and lesbianism, in which he is partaking in. And he goes on to say that he wants to wake up the Holy Ghost in people again against homosexual and lesbian behavior. And he goes on to call it a dysfunctional abnormalities. Now, I'm wondering if he considers himself to be dysfunctional since he partakes into this particular behavior. And believe me, this is not his first time at the rodeo. You would be a fool to believe that that was his very first time participating in these acts. No. Usually it goes like this. This has been something that he has been doing and participating in that has been undercover. That basically he has been covering up his particular behavior. And since he has been caught, he's trying to pull an R. Kelly now. And I have a picture of R. Kelly on here because his brother stated that R. Kelly wanted him to take the rap. R. Kelly was trying to get out of it by stating that it was not him in the video. Just as Brother Dawkins is trying to get out of it by stating it is not him in the videos. That he will sue someone or sue the people who are online perpetrating this so-called myth. But that's going to be a very tricky situation because it's bound to backfire. And the reason being is because it's going to raise the spectrum of other encounters in which you may have had, which I'm quite sure you did have. And what you're probably going to have to do is to try to contact as many of those people as you possibly can and pay them off. Now, I do not know how much the good wife knew about this. Usually women are not comfortable with such behavior. They can be very much in the dark about their husband's shenanigans, their down low behavior, and throw it under the rug and not really want to believe it. Many times they can just be very comfortable in the comfortable life in which they have. And it's such a shame that you have children now who have to be subjugated to you're not being able to control yourself. Because when you are a pastor, preacher with the congregation, it does require that you have some level of control or some level of deep discretion. Now, he chose to do this with a escort, OnlyFans escort, and he chose to tape it. And with that, it got leaked. Now, I'm sure that with this whole notion that I'm going to sue the perpetrators and it's not me on the video, it's because of your congregation. Because now you feel ashamed. The very thing that you were preaching against, condemning. I'm sure that saying people are sinners and going to hell, you're doing it. That's embarrassing. So what else are you going to do to save face? You're going to deny, 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 deny. Like what R. Kelly tried to do. Tried to deny that it was him. He wanted his brother to take the fall. And let me just say about Dawkins preaching about this. See, the problem with this type of preaching, this is the type of preaching that causes people to have guilt. That causes young and old who are doing this, who have not really come to terms with their sexuality, to have a deep disdain for themselves, to have a dislike for themselves, self-hatred, believing that it's somehow sinful, they're dirty, they're going to hell for this. He's causing discrimination. He's causing division. He's causing suicidal thoughts. He's causing suicide. He's causing people to get gay bashed and harassed. Because guess what? It's something that he cannot deal with himself. He has not come to terms with his own sexuality. So the reason why I'm doing this particular video is because of that sermon that he gave. Other than that, grown adults who are exploring their sexuality, doing things with another grown consenting adult, for the most part, I really don't give a damn about. However, when you are so hypocritical and your message is very dangerous, when you can cause death, you can cause suicide, and you're doing it yourself, then I'm going to be glad to make a video on it. If need be, I'll do another one. You know, I just think that it's well deserved. I do feel somewhat sorry for the wife, for the children, people in the congregation. I just think that it's something they didn't really ask for. But then again, they've been brought into this by his weakness and his need to make himself look like such a man of God, such a strong, powerful man of God, who I need to condemn this particular sin. But at the same time, in token, you will find out with these pastors and preachers, they will condemn the acts of homosexuality, or lesbianism, in his case right there. But they leave out a myriad of other things. They won't talk about gossiping. They won't talk about competition, strife. They will not talk about, envy. They will not talk about, the love of money, the love of having a nice car, overindulgence, getting more than one property. How many cars do they have? They won't talk about that. But yet they're so quick to condemn a sin in which many of them are doing and what they have a problem with. Many of the people who have seen this particular video, who have come in contact with him, say that it is him. Many have testified that yes, that is him. And what he has done at the meantime, at the moment, is that he has shut down some of his social media accounts. Now, let's just say like he's claiming that, well, it's not him in the video. You know, my gator goes off. It rings off the hook by looking at him. He looks very suspect. And that particular life, or should I say for that particular life. I mean, there's just no doubt in my mind that this is someone who would swing that way by looking at him. And ladies, you would do yourself a great favor. While you're dating someone or in the process, get a gay friend. Introduce him to your gay friends, your potential date mates, and listen to what they are telling you about someone. Don't go in there with blinders on, regardless of the position, the money, or whatever. I mean, this right here, I mean, you can clock this from a mile away. I mean, what is he going to do? Deny that he's bisexual, gay tendencies? The gayness shows up all over his face. That's just my opinion. He may not be, but I doubt it. But with that, you know, I just think that pastors, preachers need to be very careful about their preaching style, what they're condemning, because many a times, and I've seen this in most cases, what is done in the dark does come to the light. Eventually, your so-called shenanigans, secrets, innuendos, things like that will come out and will bite you in the butt. And unfortunately, bite those people who are closest to you also. So, how this is going to turn out for the pastor, who knows? Should he be denying this, or should he confess to it? What do you think? Should he just say that, yes, it's me in the video, I had a moment of weakness? We know that wouldn't be the truth, but I'm just saying that I'm sure the congregation would want to hear something like that. And I've told my wife, I'm telling you guys, I've already prayed to God. I'm asking for forgiveness. Should he go that route? Or should he go the route of continually to deny what is the obvious? Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty, and I will see you all beyond and through.